Okay, I want to cover three things on today's show. And the first is someone suggested we cover Charles Manson's case. Charles Manson, of course, is one of the most famous murderers America's produced in the 20th century. He was in and out of prison as a young man for robbery and assault and pimping. In the late 60s, he got a group of followers called the Manson family. In 1968, Charles shot a drug dealer. Then he stabbed someone a few weeks later and had one of his followers kill him. And then the famous murders took place in 1968. Charlie ordered his followers to go to a certain house and kill all the people there and make it as gruesome as possible. There's all been documented in the movie Helter Skelter, and the book is Helter Skelter, as to why he was going to forced the blacks and the whites to fight, and found a new people who were going to survive that and be the rulers with the black people as their servants. But anyway, he ordered his followers to go to the house and kill whoever they found there. They found 4 people in the Tate household, killed all 4 of them, included Sharon Tate, 8.5 months pregnant, stabbing them all multiple times. The next night, Charlie randomly picked a house, the LaBianca household, he went in, tied up the husband and wife, put pillowcases over their head, left the house, and told his followers go in and kill them, which they did. They were subsequently caught, tried for 7 counts of murder. They were all sentenced to death, and that's in 1970. In 1972, while they were awaiting execution, California overturned the death penalty. And so since then, even though California later overturned the overturning, but it didn't apply to them, since then Charlie has been in prison, eligible for parole every few years, but he's in prison in California. Interesting thing about the death penalty for me, when I think about it in the abstract, like there's a link in the description here for Jeremy Irons talking about the death penalty. Very interesting, very moving, talk about why it's wrong for the state to kill someone. And when you hear him, it's very convincing. But when I think about it on an individual basis, when I think about Sharon Tate, 8.5 months pregnant, begging her murderers not to kill her so that she could live to see her baby born, and they stabbed her 16 times until she died. The people who did that, I'm not so sure that Jeremy's got the right idea when I think about that. But I want to hear what you have to say. Oh, here's a picture, by the way, of Charles Manson in 1968 when he was arrested, and here he is in the 1980s in prison. You can see he carved a swastika into his head. Oh, in 1975, Squeaky Fromme, one of his followers, attempted to assassinate Gerald Ford, the President Ford, to draw attention to Charlie's plight while he was in prison. While he's in prison, people keep writing to try to join his sect. He's a celebrity. He has recorded music while in prison, and he's been accused of dealing drugs and being in contact with the outside world. And again, he murdered someone, or was involved in murders, caused the murders of all those people 41 years ago. So he's been alive and well in California for 41 years. And I want to hear what you have to say about Charles Manson. Yes, no. Does he deserve the death penalty? And here's a quote from Charles Manson from when he was in prison.
Remorse for what? You people have done everything in the world to me. Doesn't that give me equal right? I can do anything I want to you people at any time I want to, because that's what you've done to me. If you spit in my face and smack me in the mouth and throw me in solitary confinement for nothing, what do you think's going to happen when I get out of here? Maybe I haven't done enough. I might be ashamed of that, for not doing enough, for not giving enough, for not being more perceptive, for not being aware enough, for not understanding, for being stupid. Maybe I should have killed 400 or 500 people, then I would have felt better. Then when I felt like I really offered society something.
And next question, next topic, is actually who does the killings? Who does the state get? It's always been historically a very interesting thing. The executioner, the cliche is the guy in the robe. The cliche is the guy in the hood. Because you're not supposed to know who he is. And it's interesting to think in the modern state, two men go into the gas chamber or the lethal injection chamber or the electrocution, the electric chair, whatever it is. Two men go in, one's a murderer and one's a guard, or whoever it is. One dies, and when the other comes out, he's a murderer. And he goes home and free. And it's an interesting contradiction, and society's always been very uncomfortable with it. The person is usually anonymous. The guy who ran the electric chair in New York kept his identity secret. He switched the license plates on his car when he went to do an execution. He was not a state employee, except as the executioner. He was not a prison guard. He was not a member of the prison system. He was an electrician. And nowadays they have trouble getting people to do the lethal injections. They can't get any medical personnel to do it, not surprisingly. And they can't get even professional phlebotomists. And they had to stop the lethal injections in Florida because Governor Jeb Bush, after one injection was botched so badly, the needle burst the vein, and the drugs took 34 minutes. The execution, which is supposed to be swift and painless, took 34 minutes. The drugs took 34 minutes to kill the prisoner. So after that, Jeb Bush halted lethal injection until it could be reviewed. So who do you get to do it? And maybe there's viewers out there who said, I do it. But ironically, they don't want someone who's eager to do it. They want somebody somber and reflective who takes it very seriously and is very reluctant to do it. In fact, they want somebody who doesn't want to do it. So there's a contradiction there. And finally, the third thing, I'd like to have you suggest someone. We'll review their case and submit it out to viewers, whether or not they deserve the death penalty. So in the comments down below, suggest someone, pick someone who's done something wrong or someone you don't like, someone you think deserves the death penalty, or if you're opposed to the death penalty, someone on death row who you do not think deserves a death penalty. I'll research their case, and on the next show we'll put it up for a vote. So please comment and rate if you like the show. Please rate, subscribe, and comment. That would be terrific. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you at the next show.